Note to self, turn down the volume before you go live. Ouch. Hey everyone, welcome to Geeky Discoveries. I am your host, Willow Schuyler. And if there's anyone in the chat that can bring on the holiday cheer for me, that would be great right about now. Um, I this it, sometimes I just don't feel very holiday cheer. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate the compliment. Uh, and yeah, it's a wonderful onesie that tends to get a little too warm depending on how hot I have it in the house. Um, but today isn't that bad of weather, so I brought up the onesie. um, so anyway, yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I worked way too many years in retail. It just the Christmas music sometimes has a habit of being too much. Um, Although I do have some favorites when it comes to holiday music, but I don't know. I by like the second week of December, I'm over it. I'm done hearing the Frosty the Snowman for the 10th time in that day by another by another celebrity that decided to do a Christmas record. Um, I don't know. I'm trying. Everyone, I'm trying my hardest to like Christmas, to see what everybody else sees when it comes to Christmas and the magic. You know what I miss? I honestly miss like downtown Winnipeg during the Christmas hubbub, seeing going to the Santa Claus parade, and I don't know. I guess once you get to become an adult and you try to do the Christmas shopping for everyone, maybe the magic just disappears. But I I remember when I was a kid going to see Santa Claus, and this is uh, this is going way back to late '80s, early '90s. Going downtown, going to Eaton's, and getting my picture taken with Santa. And sadly, Eaton's, the department store thing, is no longer there. Um, what was so magical about that was it was they had a fairy tale uh, robotic display, and they call it was Santa's Village, but you'd see like Cinderella, all the vignette, all the cool little moving parts of these robots. No, it wasn't like Chuck E. Cheese at all. They didn't sing, but you got to read like the little captions of the fairy tale stories, and they did kind of move in and out of doors, and just I loved that setup. And right currently they have that set up at the Children's Museum here in my city, and that was like the best part of Christmas, is seeing that setup, going through like it. While you waited, it could take maybe an hour to see Santa because of the lineup, but there was just so much to see during this time, like going through this little maze, and it didn't seem like it took that long. I'm not being a kid. You just see like all these magical moving things, and then you got to see Santa. You got to tell him what you wanted, and it, you know, I I wonder if people had the same. Uh, I don't know. When you guys got to see Santa, did you have the slide like in Christmas Story? I've always wondered about that. Like, did that actually exist in stores where Santa kicked you down a slide? um, but no, that didn't happen for us. That wasn't our setup. But I'm looking at the setup in stores now, and it seems so plain. There's no cool moving robotics. There's no magic to it. Like Santa's Village is like these little tiny little decorations in the middle of a mall. And I just feel like the magic for children now when it comes to seeing Santa and getting your picture taken just isn't there anymore. The imagination just isn't there anymore. Um, I remember, and I'm maybe it's different in the States, but like the window displays aren't as elaborate in stores. I don't know. Let's go to the chat and see what people are saying. Dan Hollyfield is here. Good evening. Uh, Carl Witzman, hello, Dan, and others. Hello, Willow. Thank you. Uh, Blade Thesis, hey, Carl, Dan. Everybody saying hi to each other. Donna Curly Curleen, hello, hello. And oh yeah, okay. So Carl brings up a good. Okay, so I managed to go live on both my pages for YouTube and Facebook now. So thank you StreamYard for allowing that to happen. So yeah, is there another room? Is the Geeky Discovery should be in there? But yeah, he did bring Carl did bring up a good point about being monetized. There you are. This room has 644 subscribers, so if she can get enough watch hours, then she has a chance to monetize this channel, which that would be my Skylar production channel. And it would be a great present to be monetized in the new year, but knock on wood. Yeah, it would be great if I could get monetized, but we'll see what happens in the future. I'm really hoping to do a little bit more content for you guys, and I'd always be willing to get suggestions from you guys in the chat and those of you who are watching not live. So I will interact with you if you guys interact with me, both live and not live on my channels. Yeah, the Geeky Discovery page I will leave as is for just like the Geeky Discovery stuff. My Skylar production page will be all kinds of cool content. And we'll see where we can go from there. And we have Sarah. Sarah, hi, good evening. Oh, I'm never in the holiday cheer mood. I did buy some eggnog today, so I had it earlier when I got home with my coffee when I got home. So that it to me, it's not the holidays until you have your first eggnog. And I know that's not everybody's favorite. I like it. And Sarah says, "Oh, I have a Jack Skeleton onesie." I I love Nightmare Before Christmas. That is a great movie. And speaking of movies, I don't know if anybody has seen Red One yet. Fantastic movie. Um, the Rock does a great job. Chris Evans is amazing in it. It's I was saying this to my husband while we were watching it. It's nice to see Chris Evans in a role where he isn't playing like the Captain America role. Like it almost like I miss the cocky jerk of Chris Evans. I don't know. I like him as Captain America, but I miss the cockiness to him. Um, I don't know. I really like him in the Losers. Those of you who haven't seen it need to go watch it. It's a great movie. Um, Blade says if they didn't start playing holiday music in September, then maybe people wouldn't be so damn sick of it. Thank you. I'm like I left PetSmart in October, and they were just starting to roll out the um, the the Christmas stuff, and yeah, I Halloween is great, but when they start taking away the Halloween stuff and putting Christmas stuff with it, I'm over it already at that point. Um, I because my birthday is in September, I'm seeing stuff roll in earlier when it comes to retail for holidays. Um, I before I see Christmas stuff, I'd like to celebrate my birthday first. That's just me. How many times can grandma get run over by a reindeer? She keeps sneaking out of the house. Okay, and that's another issue that I have with Christmas music is yes, the classics are always going to be the classics, but nobody's actually writing new music. And the odd time you will get a good song coming out for the holidays, but it's always a rehash of someone else's song whenever a celebrity decides to do a Christmas album. Um, Donna says, understand that the too many years in retail, my folks never understood why I just wanted to be alone on Christmas Day. Yeah, and you whenever I come home from work after a long day of working retail, there are times where Joe has come home and it's all the lights are still off because I just need that moment when I get home of quiet and dark just to kind of recenter my brain. Just yeah, I don't. You get kind of overwhelmed and you just hear the same song constantly over and over. You just want silence. It starts way too early, nothing Christmas until after Halloween. Instead of working in retail, it ends up sounding like creepy elf music. Yeah. Yep. Carl says, they say you can never go home again. Perhaps they are right. Retail, when it comes to retail, it's like you sell your soul and you never really get it back after. It takes a long time. And I hate feeling like I'm being a cynical bitch around the holidays, but you know that's how I feel a lot of times. I screamed and cried at the mere sight of him. Donna says, never went to see Santa after getting terrified at the age of 3 by Pop's best friend playing Santa for. Oh, I one of these days I'll hear that story from you, Donna. Cell phones killed those pics. That's another thing. Like, are there do parents still get printouts, or is it are all these pictures with Santa all done on cell phones? I don't have children, so I don't know. I was a cynic even as a kid, so I caught on early and had very little interest in Santa. Yeah. I think I was 9 years old when I clued in that, my sister was the one planning a lot of the Santa visits. And don't feel sorry for me for growing up in foster care, people, but I do have to say to my sister Sabrina, thank you for being the elf. Thank you for being Santa, and thank you for creating such an elaborate display for me when we lived with our grandma, because that was very touching what you did. I'm going to send her this little message. I appreciated the steps that you gone to keep that magic alive for me during a time where it was really hard to be a kid. She did okay. So what did my sister do? She plotted this whole thing of she wrote out a card for me, detailing right from the carrots that Santa took for the reindeer, the paw print in my grandparents had a really nice house, and they did have a fireplace, though I don't recall if they ever used it during the time that we lived with them. But my sister actually, like I'm guessing her and my grandma went out and bought some stuff together. I'm not sure when they had the time to do this, but my sister bought me this giant pencil, and with that pencil, she did like the paw print design, stating that one of the reindeer fell into the chimney, and she did like the paw prints, and she did some like footprints on the carpet, although I'm pretty sure that drove my grandma nuts because she was a clean freak. And there seemed to be always a new decoration on the tree. And it was one of those things that we love to do, is find the new decoration or find the new thing on the tree. And I just remember, like, she planned this whole thing, like from the gifts to what I wanted a sewing. I believe I wanted a sewing kit that year, and she actually went out and got me like this little yarn sewing thing. I can't. It's hard to. I'm sorry, I'm describing it wrong, but it was really cool. It was kind of like your first needle point, but it was like thicker yarn. So even though I don't get along with my sisters very much, I do appreciate what they've done for me as the youngest in the family. So it's hard because it's kind of hard wanting to be close to your family and wanting to have that family gathering feeling. That was the magical part of my childhood was every so often we'd have a big family gathering, and I miss those days. Um, we we try to get along enough to have those moments again, but uh, I don't know. You you grow out of you grow out of the bullshit, I guess. Is what I feel, and uh, you're only willing to put up with so much before it drives you insane. Um, oh, yeah, watching not live. She must be talking to you, Sarah. Thanks, Carl. Uh, Sarah's the undead. Um, Blade says, I only have one holiday tradition left. I watched Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. I I know I've seen that movie. I don't recall when I've actually watched it, or like if I watched it all the way through. I know I've seen like bits and pieces of it. My birthday's 28th of November, and I would like Yule to start after that. I can imagine so. Like, a lot of people up here say that we shouldn't start like decorating for Christmas until we honor our vets, which, you know, up in Canada it starts to snow often, or at least in where I'm the part of Canada that I'm at, will often snow in October. Um, if we're lucky, it may not snow until late November, early December. Although we've caught up to last year's winter in the last 2 weeks. um, yeah. So when it comes to decorating, often people will decorate in November because it's a pain in the ass to decorate in December with the ice and snow. So you know, do you want to see decorations after we honor our vets? Sure, but realistically, if you're living in Canada, it's safer to do it in November than it is December. Read that already. Dan says there is one store in my area that started putting up a Christmas aisle before July 4th. Wow. Okay, that is way too early. July 4th? Uh, that's yeah. No, that's way too early. Uh, where the water fountain is in the cross country mall in Mantoon, Illinois, is where Santa used to sit when I was there to hang out with my buddy Ron. And how I met Brian K. Morris, it was called the Santa Bidet. uh, okay, so there's a mall downtown Winnipeg called Portage Place. And I still, jingles live on forever in my brain. For the life of me, I can never remember the passwords that I changed my emails to, but I will always remember the mall jingle from when it first uh, came up, and yeah, and sorry, my apologies. Correction, that was the Polo Park Mall that jingle was used. And later on, I found out that it was an actual song. Um, Still the one. So yeah, that song will live forever in my head. And yeah, again, I can change. I'll change my phone number, and I'll never remember it, but I'll remember even like the commercials, the jingles for commercials from like candy and stuff like that, and Burger King. Uh, oh, every time we pat, yeah. So yeah, no, like the mall Santas don't even look happy to be there either. I can't say about now, but several years ago, my wife and I got a picture taken with Santa at our local Walmart. They don't do that either. I they t- it, the Walmart the Walmart where I live has taken out the photo area. Um, One Walmart has taken out the McDonald's. There's I think there's a doctor's office in one, and yeah, the photo area is no longer there. Yeah, you can't even go in and get photos printed anymore at a Walmart. They've taken out the tire area, or like the automotive area. Um, yeah, they're just now it's becoming a giant grocery store slash clothing store. What, sooner or later we're gonna have Walmart take over malls. Uh, Blade says we had to wait a couple of weeks before they were developed. Now it's instant. You can just take it somewhere and have it printed out if you want to order them as printouts from a website, but it's not the way it used to be. Yeah, and the the photo booths now, like if you go to a fundraiser, there's photo booths that people that will post up the pictures onto their website. Um, a couple of the photo booths that I've seen actually do print off the pictures, which are great. But there are so many that will be like, "Oh, we'll take down your email and we'll email you in a couple days," and sometimes that doesn't even happen. You don't get those pictures ever. So I've seen that happen at conventions. Uh, I have a picture of me on Lester's lap just screaming. I should I should post that again. um, I have a couple pictures of being with Santa where I don't look amused at all. I don't know if it's so much as not being amused to being around Santa, or not being amused being in the dress that I'm in. uh, Now the story about your sister that is touching and is real magic. Yeah, see, and I think that's what I miss most about Christmas is the that magic of family, um, getting together, being excited to spend time with family. Yeah, I miss those. I miss that time. And do I want to host Christmas at my place? Not in particular, um, because I'm not willing to put my cats in the basement because they live here. Not my cats live here, not anybody else. Um, and I I like to cook. I'm not in particularly like I don't particularly like sharing the space with anybody else. I don't know. Um, Mrs. Claus used to take Polaroids. I would have kicked the crap out of anyone to keep me from getting near him. He creeped me out. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't mind getting my picture taken with Santa, but I think it was I think the whole Dressing up in nice clothes has always bugged me when it came to getting those pictures taken. It's like, can I not do like the frilly dress? uh 1.5 sisters, yeah. I um i have i have two older sisters, um and it's they've reminded me many times that we're technically half sisters, and I will always consider them my sisters. I don't care about the fact that we have different dads. Um, they're to me they're my sisters. Um, yeah, I don't claim my half sister. She probably she probably loot the place. Um, oh, give doggos extra love from Foxy and I. I'm trying. I've been thinking about doing like extra treats for my cats on Christmas, but then I have a chonky cat that eats his his siblings snacks when if they don't eat them all. So I have to I have to remember to only give a few treats to each cat. I always do that. It cracks me up. The half sister is a decade older than me and looks way older, I'll just say. uh, Unfortunately, in my family, that's what happens when you have a lot of alcohol and drug abuse um, situations. And um, I love my family very much, but there comes a time where you have to walk away from the bad situation. Um, See, okay, maybe the Christmas in July thing that's it. That's usually when businesses want to make more money, and they come up with all these like kitschy things to do to push more sales onto the public. I had to tell Ron about that. It was before I really got started talking to Brian K. Morris quite yet, but man, Ron and I had a blast with that. Oh, sorry, I skipped. I was. Oh yeah, yeah. I I totally skimmed the lot lizard uh, thing. Yeah. Um, I'm sorry you had have to deal with that situation. Um, I'm not going to go into details about my family like that. I'm sure you guys can use your imaginations. The Walmart in my town took out half the electronic area for freaking fishing crap. Um. Okay, so the outdoorsy thing seems to be very popular, especially up here. Um, we have a store called Canadian Tire, which has its or which at one point had its own currency. Uh, think Monopoly money, but with better images on it. Um, we It's always been I don't have a. I don't think I have any Canadian Tire money that I can show you here, but now everything's gone digital, of course. Um, but yeah, Canadian Tire is our version of what was our version of Walmart, and it has everything. And um, I call it the guy's daycare. You if you go out, if you want to go shopping without the guys, drop them off at Canadian Tire. They'll spend the whole day there. Um, my husband will spend hours there helping people in the tool section. um, the digital photo frames too, you can either have one pic or have it scroll through pics like it's screensaver. Yeah, I kind of missed it, but now we can do that with apps. Um, I think you and the mailbox should be sent. Should be sent. Oh, sorry, you guys are having your own conversations over here. Uh, yeah, see, yeah, Christmas was more exciting when we were children, eh? Um, uh, Half sister Yakes place drama overlay, and yeah, I think I think if you want to get the magic back as an adult, you kind of have to revert back to your childhood and try to learn how to have fun during the holidays. The Santa Claus parade in my city, um, it's not as exciting as you guys have it in the States, because we don't have like marching bands. We don't have. Honestly, I think our city should work with the theater clubs in our city for these events. Um, our mayor needs to be buddy buddy with better people. And not worry about reopening Porta Germain where it was closed off to pedestrians since the 70s. Just saying, there's a reason why they closed it off. Um, we have a high traffic area in our city, and they closed off the popular it's a busy intersection, and we call it Porta Germain. In the 70s, they closed it off to pedestrians to keep them safe because of because traffic became very, very high for vehicles. And then they built an underground walkway, an underground mall. And there was also like a little underground, let's call it what it is, a circle jerk. And people walk through there to find to avoid walking in the cold and avoid walking into traffic. But now they're opening it. They're getting rid of. And okay, my city is celebrating 150 years. Actually, by the time we actually do celebrate 150, we'll be 151. So now we're getting ready for it to celebrate being being a city, and so my mayor decided to reopen the busy intersection. They're currently using all of our budget to get rid of the barricades. And I think they have plans on shutting down the underground mall and filling that, which is kind of sad because I like the underground mall. And honestly, if we would work with business owners and allow them cheap rent, I think we could fill that place up again with really cool businesses. But that's just me. That's what I would do. Um, I'm getting to. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm trying not to knock my microphone over. Geeky discoveries. Yeah. uh, Predator paint can't see them. Yeah, this show has always gone off the rails, so it's about anything, and kind of like discovering uh, your own process. Um, but this show will definitely get a little, hopefully, a little bit better in the future because I have plans. I have I have plans on making it better in the future. Um, so anyway, on to the next big thing here. So during the month of uh, November and December, I got myself a little job at a bakery, and it's sadly will come to an end this week. So I'm gonna have to find another job very soon. But Lilac Bakery has taken me on as a part-time employee, and we've been having some fun with it. So I want to show you guys this little video. Oh yeah. I'm not bad. It's not bad, actually. Oh yeah! Stop. So yeah, uh, yeah, I'm not a cake decorator. Even with even with my eyes open. Um, yeah, I'll leave that for the people who are professionals. um, so yeah, no, that little thing was fun. If they choose to keep me on in or bring me on for future holidays, I would I I would say yes immediately. But I know that because it's a small bakery, they're not very busy. Um, the it's fun though. I'm enjoying my time with it. I'm not looking forward to having to go and do more job hunting come January. But yeah, uh, I I love being in the bakery. I love interacting with everybody at uh, that run it, and I'm gonna miss them once this is all over. Um, they're a great group. Like this is probably the one job where I actually got along with everybody. It actually is kind of scary to think about because it's like, oh, okay, so I'm getting along with everybody there, and there's one girl who I don't want to scare everybody, but it is very much like me, where we're very much kindred spirits when it comes to our personalities, and she's a teenager, so it's really cool. These people are really neat, and the owner is a great guy. So yeah, again, I'll miss everybody once my time is up, but it's a great experience. Um, I hope to do some more work with them in the future, and hopefully, uh, I will have Chris, the owner, and maybe some of the other bakers on my show. Um, I'll maybe do an interview there at the bakery if they have time. Um, so anyway, so I got a little poem to read. Um, I don't know if it's actually written by Edgar Allan Poe, but it's like very much inspired by him. Uh, it's The Night Before Christmas, or taken as The Night Before Christmas, but I'm not sure who actually wrote this. Um, on the night before Christmas, alone in my house, sorrow gnawed at my soul like a ravenous mouse. Entombed in my blankets, I struggled to sleep, ready to snap if I counted more sheep. Arose at the sound of scratching and creaking. "Who's there?" I cried. "Is it trouble you're seeking?" Like a ghost in the shadows, I crept from my room, and drawing my knife, which gleamed in the gloom, I silently stole down the cold, cheerless hall, avoiding the portrait that hung on my wall. A faraway voice came from somewhere unknown, as if calling to me in a jovial tone. Ah, could it be? Had my beloved returned? For this day I had prayed, I had desperately yearned. So I turned to the portrait, stared into her eyes, the eyes of sweet Mary, whose tragic demise sent me into despair, for never was there a creature so lovely, exquisite, and rare. I was torn from my revere, my footsteps below had she come above like the new fallen snow. Down the spiraling stairs I quickly descended, perhaps death itself my love has transcended. An ephemeral fragrance arose in the air. It was brandy, the drink that provoked our affair. The scent of this spirit, this trace of her essence, drew me to the kitchen, seeking her presence. She wasn't there. Was her visit so fleeting? In the silence I heard my lovely heart beating. My lonely heart beating. Sorry, I can't read. As I sighed and sullenly gazed at the ground, I saw crumbs bathed in liquor scattered around. She never, eh, she's never untidy, I said it with conviction. Perhaps an intruder has been in my kitchen. Instinct compelled me to look in my cupboard. My rations had been demolished and plundered. There was a trail of fine cheese and bread. It led to the hearth, where I drew back with dread. In front of the chimney there stood an old coot. He wore a long cap and fuzzy red suit. "Ho, ho," he chortled. "Now wait until morning." He waggled his finger, giving me a warning. "How dare you?" I cried as we stood face to face. "You've devoured my food, leaving hardly a trace." To this he replied, "You have it all wrong. I left you a gift. I'll be getting along." Wondering if I should believe the old troll, I reached in my stocking and pulled out some coal. I have lists, he explained, of who's naughty and nice. You haven't been good, and I fear there's a price. Who are you? I barked in this gnome, at this gnome on my brick. Don't you know me? He smiled. I'm Saint Nick. The name was familiar, but that didn't matter. His age, his aged Bacchus was mad as a hatter. You're a fool and a fraud, I said, raising my voice. And you barged in my house. There's no cause to rejoice. So whether you're Santa or Hanukkah Harry, Jesus or Joseph, or just the tooth fairy, Happy Christmas, he chuckled, while I mustn't tarry. Now cheer up, good fellow, you don't seem merry. See, Mary, I burst out, have you brought her here? Has my love come at last, upon midnight clear? Sometimes he winked. All is not what it seems, especially when you live in your dreams. Villain, I shrieked, grabbing hold of his beard. Bring her to me, your suit will be smeared. I took out my knife and punctured his sleeve. The blade I intoned is not make-believe. No more presents, he warned, if you do these bad deeds. Then he whistled quite shrilly and called for his steeds. They drove down the chimney with a great rumble, antlers and hooves entwined in a jumble. Like Mary, I muttered, as he deceived me, and he stood there smugly, the overstuffed deity. In rage, I hurled a torch up to the flue. Care to join me, I sneered, for some venison stew. With a guttural puff, he charged for the door, but I pulled on a chain and he dropped through the floor. Dash away all, he cried out as he fell, but his deer were already roasting in hell. I turned a deaf ear to his echoing cries as he plunged towards the place where dear Mary lies. And just as a hush came over the old house, from the cinders there sprung an impodious mouse. There was cheese on his paws and jam on his nose. Gravy dipped down from his ears to his toes. It was clear from the smell that arose from his fur. He had showered himself with my fancy liqueur. This gluttonous thief, like the vandals of Rome, had raided my kitchen and shattered my home. He staggered about on the stony gray floor till he slipped beneath my foot and he knew no more. It was peaceful at last, so I settled in bed. Trophies of reindeer danced around in my head. One dreary year later, upon Christmas Eve, the stocking I'd hung up began to unweave, and what should fall out of it onto the brick but a sparkling and sputtering dynamite stick. Quickly I sought to extinguish the flame. It wouldn't go out. 'Twas a cruel, deadly game. I discarded the stick and dashed to the door. What witchcraft was this? It was stuck to the floor. From the roof came a laugh of sadistic delight. Then suddenly there was a bright flash of light. And just as my soul began to take flight, that fiendish elf cried, "Happy Christmas, good night." Oh, hey, here's what it means. Christmas is a celebration of birth of Jesus, who came to take away our sins and bridge the gap between us and God allow us to live eternal life in heaven, free from sin. And I really appreciate the sentiments, Johnny, but that's not exactly my feelings about Christmas, unfortunately, but I'm glad that you have your joys, and I'm glad that you seem very well. Yeah. I'd appreciate in the future, though, that you keep those sentiments to yourself. So we all have our own feelings of Christmas, and I'm not looking to fight with anybody. I'm not entirely I was raised with Christianity, and I appreciate all those that have come here looking to for an escape. So yeah, I want to provide that escape to all of you. So that poem, it definitely is not in my book written by Edgar Allan Poe. So I'm not sure if that poem is actually written by him or just inspired by him. I'm curious who that author was, but I did enjoy it too. And thank you very much, Sarah. I appreciate you too. So yeah, I think I'm gonna say goodnight. You guys all have a wonderful evening. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Thank you all for joining me, and I look forward to doing more shows like this. Make sure that you guys join us for did I not? Oh no, I guess not. Let's see if someone else has it. Cosplay Cafe.
The Multiverse Fundraiser is partnering with Comic Books for Kids to raise money for their cause. Their mission is to provide comic books to children in hospitals and cancer centers across the United States, Canada, and the UK. We believe in the importance of providing stories that promote hope and bravery to kids who are facing things that are scarier than any supervillain. And we truly believe in this cause. To donate, you can either go to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/The Multiverse Fundraiser or directly to comicbooksforkids.org.
So yeah, those of you who are looking forward to joining us in January for the Multiverse Fundraiser, please do. We got lots of guests coming, and I can't wait to talk more about this once all the details are being released. So I will bid you all adieu. You guys have a wonderful night and a great Christmas.
My name is Mark Weiss, and I am the founder and president of an organization called Comic Books for Kids. 6 years ago this month, we embarked on a journey of passion and heart. Our goal was to make a difference for children in hospitals and cancer centers. Little could we have ever imagined the response we have now. Starting with just hopes and dreams, we had no money for our mission. We had no product to give to the hospitals, and we had only called a couple hospitals and asked them, if we were to provide you with comic books, would you be interested? And they said yes. So we embarked on a one-year journey to make a difference for these kids. We realized that even though we can't take away the reason these children are in hospitals, we can perhaps, while they are there, let them fly like a superhero, be princes and princesses, and embark on a mystical and magical journey to take them away from where they are in that hospital bed. Today, and thanks to your support, we are thrilled to say that we are now the largest charity in the U.S. supporting well over 200 hospitals in all 50 states for not only comic books, but for other pop culture items like Funko Pops, action figures, coloring books, Spanish bilingual items, backpacks, and more. When we received materials that were inappropriate for the young ones, we started a sister charity called Comic Book for Troops, and overnight, we became the largest charity in the U.S. for these same items to all branches of the military. We want to thank our friends for providing us their support and for allowing us the means to make so many happy with their gracious give to us.